Alright, hello everybody. Today we're going to be working with Morgan's lesson plan. She's brought one for us to try to help her out with a dilemma that she's having. We're going to start with her presenting it, and then we will ask clarifying questions. We're going to reflect on the lesson and try to get some warm and cool feedback for her, and then we will go around the table and give our warm and cool feedback and allow her time to reflect on those and to focus on those, and then she's going to come back to us and reflect on what she heard us talking about, and then we will debrief this protocol. All right, Morgan, if you're ready.
Okay, so for my lesson today, my actual objective, I've already done this lesson previously, but the actual objective for that was so that the students would be able to combine sentences with the appropriate conjunctions and punctuation so that they can take some of those smaller sentences and maybe make them a little more advanced. We were going to start with a bell ringer where they just identify different sentence types so that I can ensure that they know the difference between each one. There's 4 different types. After our bell ringer, we're going to go ahead and get into our groups. They're going to work in groups of 3. They'll each be given, each group will have a paragraph to rewrite and make sure that the sentences are combined appropriately using the proper commas, semicolon, conjunction. And once they're done, they're going to post those around the room by group, and they're going to conduct a gallery walk so that they can walk around and get criticism from the other groups on certain errors. And what I'd like for them to do is post a comment, not write on their actual paragraph, but have a sticky note and post around it something they saw that needs to be corrected. And I only want them to leave productive criticism for them. My focus question for this lesson would be, what evidence is there of effective collaboration? I know they're working together, but I just want to make sure that it is effective, make sure that the gallery walk was the best way to go, or a good way to go for their learning.
All right, now we're going to enter into asking Morgan clarifying questions for anything that's you may not still understand after her presentation.
Are the students allowed to talk during the gallery walk?
No, I don't want them to talk. I'm hoping that it'll help them focus a little bit so that they don't hear a lot of noise around them. They can read a little bit better and hopefully come up with their own error or criticism. So that.
What do you mean by productive criticism?
Oh, productively, I'm hoping that they'll find corrections that the other students can make. Not just, I like it, cool sentence. I want them to actually find something that can help them make their sentences better.
Morgan, I'm seeing a lot of group participation, and I was wondering how you're going to guarantee that the students are meaningfully participating in those groups.
Robbie, that's right now is a cool feedback, so let's wait and hold that back to the next one. Let's just try to clarify the lesson right now. Morgan, for the paragraph, did you write all these paragraphs and they're correcting them, or did they write the paragraphs to start with all the simple sentences?
I wrote them and made sure that each of those it was a simple sentence in each one, so that way they had something to correct. They've never seen them before.
Okay, at this moment, what we're gonna do is, we're just gonna, look at a lesson and reflect on what we've heard, and then we're going to get some more mental feedback questions that we can, be able to offer Morgan to, help her to reflect on this lesson and help to, answer her focus question. All right, so now we are ready to give Morgan more mental feedback. And at this time, Morgan will not be participating in this. This will just be us talking. And in the protocol guidelines, there are questions there to help you to try to stick with the beginning parts of the questions to make sure that they are the warm and cool feedback. All right, so let's start with the warm feedback.
I noticed that students are actively writing to learn.
You want to, we'll just go around.
I saw students are working in groups of 3.
I heard Morgan say that all students were up walking around.
I saw multiple opportunities for collaboration.
And I noticed that students had several different chances to reinforce the learning from the lesson through critique and reflection.
Got any more? All right, now what we can do is let's provide her some cool feedback. So who would like to start us with those?
I will. I wonder how this activity will tie into a formative assessment, considering the emphasis on peer review throughout the lesson.
I wonder if students will be able to recognize run-on sentences.
I'm curious to know how you'll be sure everybody participates.
Mine's similar to that one, but I wonder if all students found at least one error in a paragraph as they were walking around. Good. All right, at this moment, after we're going to ask Morgan to come back and to reflect on what she heard and to see if she's got some ideas about how if we helped her to fix her problem.
Okay. I'm going to respond to the question about run-on sentences. The students, we've already covered run-on sentences, so this should be the errors that they're looking for and that they should be editing, and that's what they should be commenting on the paragraphs. The productive criticism, the only thing I meant by productive would be the actual errors themselves, so that they would know that this is incorrect and this is another way I could fix it. And for some of those, they may have a sentence that is correct, but a student may have found a different way to do it. They may have sounded better. Maybe instead of using a semicolon, they used a conjunction that made the transition better. As far as me knowing that they are participating in this current lesson, I was just informally walking around, making sure that I saw each student writing something at one time. And for, I think it was the question about my formal assessment towards the end, that's what it was. My goal in this lesson was to give them a chance to enhance their editing skills, and hopefully when we got to a much bigger project or paper, this use of scaffolding would help them. Now that I have heard your cool feedback and your warm feedback, going back to my focus question on making sure that collaboration is effective, I think I'm going to give each student, depending on the amount of groups, one sticky for each group so that I can make sure that they have commented at least one in each place. And that's how I know, it's a better way of me knowing that they're participating effectively. And I also think that using an exit ticket at the end, an editing kind of exit ticket, maybe even an SAT sample passage to take up at the end, just to ensure that I feel like everyone had a chance to edit and get their thoughts out. I think that would be a better way to go about the participation and collaboration.
All right. For our last part of this, what we will do is to debrief the protocol and just let's discuss and talk about this process and how well Morgan feels like if this was, you know, something that helped her out or whatever. We can just kind of talk about the process and debrief the protocol.
I guess I'll start. I really like the feedback, especially the cool feedback, because I hadn't really, I thought about the informal assessment, but I hadn't found a better way to do it. So this will probably be a good chance for me to focus on that and maybe enhance this lesson a lot so that I can make sure that they're all participating fully. Maybe add in a certain amount of note cards that they have to post on each one, just to ensure that they're learning. So that's something I'm really going to take back with me. And since I do have a focus on the review and the reflection for the students, I'll make sure that it is that they understand that it's connected to that larger paper I was talking about for later. That they know that this was intended to help them with that.